Let's remove the wheel, 21mm socket. Now with the wheel off, you can see where the sway bar bushing is, and with a 12mm, I'm going to break the 2 bolts free. These are kind of difficult to get to, and you can't really get anything other than a wrench in here. So hopefully for you, they break free. Sometimes these do break inside the subframe, and then it's kind of a nightmare because, well, there's no really much room to fix that unless you pull the subframe down. So try and spray some rust penetrant in there if yours are super rusted, or apply some heat if you have to. Just be careful of how you do it because you have fuel and brake lines running down here. But this one broke free. Let's try to get to this front one. Okay, I think this one broke free as well, so that's good. I'm going to get them out a few turns, and then I'll switch to a ratcheting wrench because that's going to make things a lot more efficient. It's hitting the rusty parts on the threads. So I think I'm going to spray with some rust penetrant and actually bring it back down, work it back and forth. And I know that takes a lot of extra time, but it's worth not breaking it inside the subframe. And go back. All right, this one's almost out. That's great. As you can see, working it back and forth allowed the rust penetrant to work its way onto all the threads. I'm just checking if my tool still comes out, which it does. You don't want to get your tool jammed in there. Okay, here's the front one. Let's remove the rear one as well. Okay, let's spray some rust penetrant on this one as well and work it into the threads. Okay, now let's take it out. Ooh, that's it. There we go. Remove your tool and remove the bolt. Now we can get to the sway bar bushing. I'm going to use a little pry bar and just pull this bracket up. This is what sits right up top and locks in the bushing. Slide that right off. And now we can remove the sway bar bushing. You have to kind of peel it off of the sway bar. It's got a cut at the back of it. So pull it up and out. And here's your old bushing. With the new sway bar bushing, I'm going to add a little bit of silicone paste in here. You can add other grease if you have something else, but silicone paste is rubber friendly. Regular grease will degrade the rubber over time. You can use brake grease, that usually works, but silicone paste is best. And now you take your sway bar bushing and slide it on. Now this one has a cut on the bottom. If it has a cut on a side, not on the bottom, you want the cut to be towards the back. The reason for that is as you're driving forward, water and debris will go this way, and you don't want the cut to be here so that water and debris can make its way in. But this one's at the bottom, so I don't have to worry about it. Slide it right on, and then we'll get this bracket. And I found that it slides on easiest if you put some grease or silicone paste on the back side of this. That way it'll just kind of slip onto the bushing. Slide it over and make sure it's lined up. Press it down, and now let's get the 2 bolts back in. I put some anti-seize on these threads to prevent future rust from building up. And I'm just going to try and line this rear one up first. That one dropped right into the threads, so I'm going to start it on, and then we'll do this front one. That one dropped right in as well. Let's thread them on, and then we'll snug them up, make them tight. There's no way I can get a torque wrench in here, so torquing them is out of the question, but as long as you make them nice and tight, you should be good to go. Okay, let's switch over to this rear one. Make sure this one goes down as well. Okay, this one's bottomed out. I'm gonna go ahead and make it nice and tight. Like I said, I can't get my torque wrench in here, so there we go. That one's tight. Let's do the same to this rear one. Okay, make this one nice and tight as well. Now I grabbed a long wrench so I can get some leverage on these and make sure that they are nice and tight. Okay, that one's tight. Do the same to this front one. A little more. Perfect. Now they're both nice and tight. At this point you can go and do the same thing to the other side. Let's get the wheel back on. Start on all 5 of your lug nuts, bottom them out, torque them to 76 foot-pounds. All right, take it for a road test.